Evening, sir.
Come in.
Evening, sir. Evening, sir.
Back.
Thank you, sir.
Kush
Yes, sir.
Motwani,
Yes, sir.
IIT Bombay,
Yes, sir.
electrical engineering
Yes, sir.
and football.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about yourself.
Yes, sir. So my name is Kush. I graduated from the electrical engineering department from IIT Bombay with a dual degree, master's specialization in communications and signal processing. After college, sir, I worked for about 2.5 years at Xerox Research, where I worked on different projects, primarily really related to public service delivery in verticals, transportation, and healthcare. I quit my job and I started preparing for civil services examination. I joined the Indian Corporate Law Service in. I cleared the 2020 examination and joined the service in 2021. I was there till recently. I resigned few months ago, and currently I'm working with a logistics startup which is working in the AI using AI application for logistics. Startup is based in Singapore. So I'm staying in Navi Mumbai. My father works in the telecom sector, and my mother is a homemaker.
So, if you don't get into the job, you go back to Singapore.
No, sir.
If you don't get into the job,
No, sir. Yes, I didn't understand the context.
you said after you have resigned from
Corporate law services.
corporate law
Yes,
job
sir. Yes, sir.
and you have taken up another job
Yes, sir.
in Singapore
I'm working remotely, sir.
remotely.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, football.
Yes, sir.
How deeply are you involved with football?
Sir, I like playing. I play whenever I get an opportunity to play.
Have you played at a professional level?
No, sir. I have not played at any professional level.
Okay. Tell me, football is a sport which has been very popular in India,
Yes, sir.
and India has achieved a lot in the past.
Yes, sir.
You know, we got an opportunity to play in the World Cup as far back as in 1950.
Yes, sir.
You know that.
Yes, sir.
Did we go?
Yes, sir. We went to play.
We went.
Yes, sir.
We did. Olympics we did. World Cup we did not.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. I did not know about this.
Because we did not have kits.
Yes, sir. Sir, I had read somewhere that we went to play, but we played without proper kits. But I may be mistaken, sir. Thank you for the information.
But tell me, football being such deep roots in India, why we haven't been able to do well? I believe we are in 110th or 120th in order of merit in the world football.
Yes,
Why?
Sir, we've done well, but only in certain pockets. The game has significantly lost popularity as compared to the 1950s, and so this is because of multiple reasons. Sir, first is increase in popularity of cricket. So that's from the demand side. From the supply side, it is related to limited infrastructure, limited system of leagues, wherein we have a tiered league system which is followed by most European as well as African and South American countries. We don't have that. Lack of
We have in
professionalized.
India also.
Sir, we have local leagues, but they don't form a sort of a overall system per se. For example, the Calcutta League is very famous. It's, I think, one of the oldest leagues in Asia. But because of certain issues between various football federations, we still have not been able to figure out how we'll fit all of these into one system.
You see, it's very very old.
Yes, sir.
And it is immensely popular in, say, like West Bengal, in the Northeast. It's the number one sport in the Northeast.
Yes, sir.
Much more than cricket.
Yes, sir.
In Bengal, it continues to be popular.
Yes, sir.
Elsewhere also, your Rovers Cup in Mumbai, Durand Cup in Delhi,
Yes, sir.
Federation Cup in Kerala, these are very old tournaments.
Yes, sir.
Still very popular.
Yes, sir.
And yet, we are 110th or 120th. A country like Qatar,
Yes,
with
sir.
a few lakh population, is able to beat us.
Yes, sir.
I think the reason is somewhere else.
Yes, sir. Sir, broadly, reasons are related to lack of professionalization, lack of early identification of talent, lack of grooming of talent, providing the best coaching or best management to young players who may have potential, and lack of adequate competition at the top level.
Physical fitness.
Yes, sir.
Physical fitness. Where these small countries score over us is their physical fitness.
Yes, sir.
Electrical engineer.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about renewable energy.
So renewable energy is energy. It's a broad term that is used for energy that is not being obtained from fossil fuels. There are certain debates with respect to whether something like hydropower should be called renewable energy or should it be a part of non-fossil fuel
Suppose we
energy.
did. We did include.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, it's mostly, it's a very, with respect to renewable energy, it has, I mean, when I talk about it, I'd like to think about it in terms of different facets. The first would be in terms of its potential to help us transition away from fossil fuels, which have been majorly responsible for two things. One is global warming and the other is pollution.
Other is
Pollution. The second facet I would like to think about is their potential with respect to decentralization of energy, with respect to taking electricity to areas or households which may not have had energy in the past. Third is with respect to their potential to improve the efficiency of our grid with respect to things like storage, with respect to things like bidirectional demand and supply.
our commercial losses are as much as 20%.
Yes, sir. Aggregate transmission commercial losses, both including both of them, it's about 20%.
It's unthinkable. It's criminal.
Yes, sir.
So we're talking about renewable energy.
Yes, sir.
Tell us the various components and what are our plans? What have we committed in COP28 or earlier
Yes.
in order to meet the emission targets?
So the various components would include solar, wind, hydro, biomass. These would be the major ones. Sir, with respect to solar, with respect to overall targets, we have committed to 500 gigawatts. With respect to solar, there are two broadly, we can look at it.
Our total installed capacity is about 430 odd gigawatts.
Yes, sir.
How are we going to produce 500 gigawatts?
Sir, our total installed capacity is 430 gigawatts, but it's increasing at a very fast pace.
Total installed capacity of renewable energy is?
Sir, about 160 odd gigawatts.
180.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how do you jump from 180 to 500? 200 to 50, I can understand.
Yes, sir. Sir, we jumped from a very small number to 180 in a very short period of time. I think we have done 3x in the last 6 years, 6.5 years, from about 60 to 180. So, if in the next 6.5,
Let's be reasonable.
yes, sir.
In hydroelectricity, there is limited potential.
Yes, sir. I agree.
We can go from X to X.2 or X.3. We can't go from X to 10X.
Yes, sir. We are at 46 right now. We can go up till 60, 65.
Wind energy, again, there cannot be a drastic improvement. Solar, we have a lot of potential, just enormous potential.
Yes, sir.
But daytime you get solar energy, nighttime you don't. Our storage system is not good enough.
Yes, sir.
How do we do it?
Yes, sir. So solar also we have potential. We are at 45 right now.
More.
Yes, sir. Maybe.
70.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I did not know about that. But I think our total potential is 200 plus and 300 plus, and that is excluding offshore. Offshore would significantly increase that. Right now, there's a 1 gigawatt proof of concept that is under planning off the coast of Gujarat. But apart from that, as you rightly said, most of it is solar. Uh, Sir, with respect to storage, there would be multiple ways with which we can go about it, and we are trying to explore all of them. One is obviously with respect to batteries, the other is with respect to hydrogen, where we want to use hydrogen as a medium for conduit of energy.
That's different.
Third is,
Hydrogen is different.
uh, sir, one of our biggest motivations for using green hydrogen is with respect to using solar to get green hydrogen, which can be later used. So essentially, we are trying to use it as a storage medium for energy. And the last one where we are putting in a lot of effort is pumped hydro. It's a very old technology, but already.
Thank you, Chairman. Kush, I am very impressed by your educational profile.
Thank you, sir.
BTech and MTech from prestigious IIT Mumbai. And I also find in your depth that your father is also from the engineering background, or he's an engineer.
Yes, sir.
Now, with this kind of a legacy and this kind of educational profile, and having acquired this kind of expertise in electrical engineering, government put in so much of money on you, and you have put in so much of time and energy on this. Why would you like to come to bureaucracy, which is said to be services of journalists or the general knowledge?
Sir, while I was working, as I mentioned at Xerox, I was working on many projects related to public service delivery. To give some examples, I was working on one project for Colorado Police related to crime visualization and crime prediction. I was working on one project for insurance companies in USA about predicting prevalence of diabetes.
Come to the point.
Yes, sir. So I really enjoyed this, but I felt a deep desire to work on such projects in an Indian context. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of private companies or projects in such domains in India, which are with an aim to use technology to improve the quality of public service delivery and governance. And that was my biggest motivation. That is my biggest motivation to become a civil servant.
All right. I find from your depth that you have worked almost a year in the Ministry of Corporate Affairs.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
You resigned recently in June.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what your depth is.
Yes, sir.
Now, having worked 1 year there at the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, a couple of questions from there. Now, the Companies Act,
Yes,
as
sir.
such, has gone a total, I could say, reinvented as a new act by
Yes,
itself.
sir. Yes, sir.
Just in 4 bullet points, what are the cardinal changes which have been made in the new Companies Act?
So the biggest one is it tries to create a disclosure-based regime rather than a regulator looking into or interfering in the affairs of the company regime. The second one is it tries to institutionalize corporate governance. This is via independent directors, via various committees. The third one is with respect to reducing different procedures, such as with respect to mergers and acquisitions, operations, and so on. And the final one is with respect to allowing more liberty in terms of doing business by creating or allowing for more categories of companies, such as one-person companies, pharma producer companies, and so on.
Okay, you come from Gujarat.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is this Gujarat model of governance, and how is it different from Maharashtra where you stay?
So, colloquially, the Gujarat model of governance is one wherein the state invests significantly in physical and social infrastructure and let the welfare dividends of that play out over the long term. It's different from, it's not very different from Maharashtra model of governance. Maharashtra has traditionally used the same approach with respect to its development. Gujarat has just done it on a scale which is greater than the one in which Maharashtra has done it in the past.
Okay. Uh, I'm sure you must be impressed of a abbreviation called ESG.
Yes, sir.
which is now being applied at all corporate
Yes, sir.
operations.
Yes, sir.
Now, could you explain why this ESG and how is this ESG measured?
Yes, sir. Sir, with respect to why, it is sort of to align the interests of a company, which is as a vehicle, with the larger interest of society.
Yes.
Especially when the world is facing major challenges with respect to environment, with respect to social challenges, and with respect to issues in corporate governance that we see not just in India but all over the world. With respect to how it's measured, so there's no universal sort of one way to measure it. Different regulators are still trying to figure it out. India, SEBI has prescribed a business sustainability report for the top 1,000 listed companies, and I think it's going to extend it to top 2,000 companies, or maybe
Now
it's
that
already.
you touched a subject called BRSR,
Yes, sir.
what is COBAC in that?
What is that?
What is COBAC, which is a part of BRSR policy?
Go back. Sorry, sir, I am not.
I'll explain it to you, so I'm sure you will throw some light on that.
Yes, sir.
Code of Business Ethics and Conduct,
Yes, sir.
which is part of corporate governance,
Yes, sir.
which is an element of ESG.
Yes, sir.
So how do you elaborate this, and what are the selling features of a COBAC?
Sir, I'm not exactly aware about the precise salient features of Code of Business Ethics.
Okay, just three in bullet points.
Yes, sir.
The cardinal principle which govern governance.
Yes, sir. So the first is well-defined responsibility of the shareholders, of the board of directors, and the management of the company.
It could be anywhere. Governance could be in bureaucracy as well.
Yes, sir.
So I'm talking about cardinal principles of governance
Yes,
per
sir.
se.
Yes, sir. Sir, it would be transparency,
Yes,
it would be
good.
accountability, and it would be independence with respect to all the stakeholders in whatever role they are in.
Good answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Kush,
Good evening, sir.
apart from football, you have mentioned swimming and mountaineering also.
Yes, sir.
Have you gone on some mountaineering expedition?
Sir, I did the course on mountaineering. As a part of that, we went on one expedition as a part of the course. In Himachal, it is near Solang. It is a peak near Solang Valley. But apart from that, I have not gone on any mountaineering expeditions. Although I enjoy trekking, I've done a lot of trekking while I was at Bangalore.
What is the basic toolkit for a mountaineer?
Yes, sir. Sir, for a mountaineer, a basic toolkit would be firstly an ice axe. Secondly, apparel which can protect from the cold. Thirdly, would be the shoes. I am not able to recollect the technical name for those shoes. Fourthly, would be ropes and learning the different types of knots that may be needed at different points of time. These would be some of the basic.
How is it different from, say, swimming in basics?
Yes, sir. So the biggest difference would be swimming is fairly a very repetitive activity. Mountaineering, every step will have certain new something to it, and you would always have to be aware of what is the new thing that you have to do to ensure, because otherwise it can be very dangerous. That would be, in my opinion, the biggest difference. There will be other differences in terms of technicalities, such as what is the kind of muscles that are used in the body, what is the frame of mind when you're swimming VRV, what is when you're mountaineering, and so on. But the biggest difference would be this.
If you join civil services,
Yes, sir.
which of these activities would help you more?
Sir, I think swimming would help me more, because firstly, a lot of tasks would be repetitive and it gives a good habit of it. Secondly, and more importantly, swimming allows for a lot of self-reflection, and that is something that would be important in civil services with respect to the tasks that you're facing and how to approach them with respect to solving them.
Are you aware of the pitfalls,
Yes, sir.
the general ones, common ones, in day-to-day administration?
Yes, sir. Uh, Sir, the biggest pitfall is in day-to-day administration. There's a lot of ad hoc work that keeps coming, and the biggest pitfall is in trying to keep doing that ad hoc work. The long-term work that you have to do gets delayed. That is what I have figured based on my understanding of my first-hand view of the same bylaws at Ministry of Corporate Affairs, as well as my conversations with other people.
So how would you make a balance between both, short term and the long term?
Yes, sir.
And
Sir,
with the present political scenario, is it always possible?
yes, sir. Sir, to make a balance between both, the most important thing is for the individual to plan what his work is going to be look like, and B, to align the planning of each individual with that of the organization, so that two things take place. First is the day-to-day work gets addressed, and second is the work that a person is doing is consistent with the larger goal of the department as a whole, so that the long-term works get done.
You are from Bombay,
Yes, sir.
and longer sea bridge is coming up there.
Yes, sir.
What are the connecting points and what is it named?
Sir, Maharashtra Trans Harbour Link, it connects Nhava Sheva, which is near JNPT, which is JNPT port, to Sevri, which is near Mumbai port.
How long is it?
Sir, it's about 22 odd kilometers. A small portion, about 1/4 of that is on land, and remaining 3/4 is on sea.
What is it named?
MTHL, Maharashtra Trans Harbour Link.
It's named after British, the Honorable, he's going to be accused.
Okay. So sorry, sir. I am not aware.
Atal Setu.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is named. Sorry, I could not recollect. Thank you, sir.
Well, considering your background,
Yes, sir.
my last question would be, for society's future,
Yes, sir.
who is more important, bureaucrats or engineers?
Sir, both have their role to play, but if I had to choose,
More, yes.
yeah, if I had to choose, I'd choose engineers, because you need engineering to solve problems, to provide solution to problems, and bureaucracy is needed to sort of organize those solutions, to integrate them with respect to the various facets, to make sure that they work orderly. But the solutions have to come first.
There is a dichotomy. You prefer engineers are more important,
Yes, sir.
and you wish to join bureaucracy.
Yes, sir.
How do you?
Sir, I don't see that as a dichotomy. My primary and biggest motivation for joining the bureaucracy is to use my background to bridge this gap, right? During the course of college, during the course of my work, I see that a lot of things that academia, not abroad, but in India is working on, that companies in India are working on, but these solutions are not reaching the people. And that is my primary motivation. So I don't see that as a dichotomy.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Kush, let's start from your academic background and as well the sector in which you are working. You are working in logistics company, no?
Yes, sir. I'm working on.
Okay. And you talked a lot about this renewable energy and all that.
Yes, sir.
With regard to logistics, no? Renewable energy is very important nowadays, and electric transport and hydrogen transport, green hydrogen transport is being one of the ideas which is developing very fast. So in terms of heavy locomotives, for example, heavy transport, HTVs,
Yes, sir.
do you see that the ideas which we are building up and the targets which we have set up would be realistic, particularly in view of the fact, where an engineer you must be knowing, that the energy density of hydrogen is very low as compared to diesel?
Yes, sir. Sir, With respect to heavy vehicles in particular, I agree with you. More research has to be done. With respect to personal or commercial vehicles, that's not a big issue. A lot of companies have already
leave
demonstrated.
aside
Yes, sir.
personal.
Yes,
I'm not asking personal.
yes, sir.
Passenger vehicles, I'm not asking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As of today, we don't have the technology, but I think that it will. It is not
So
very
if
far.
we don't have the technology and we have set our targets so high,
Yes, sir.
what are we doing about it?
Yes, sir. Uh, so we are doing multiple things about it. Firstly, we are exploring the use of hydrogen as a bridge fuel. We have H2 CNG, hydrogen CNG based heavy vehicles already, buses as well as heavy machinery. Apart from that,
That's not our ultimate target, no? That's an interim.
yes, sir. That is, so we are using this as a bridgeway. The second thing is we are already working with medium vehicles with hydrogen as a fuel. A lot of mining machinery and mining vehicles are already using hydrogen. And I think it will scale up.
And
based
Government
on-
of India, have they launched any scheme with regard to that, any policy with regard to that, which is trying to push this R&D in that sector?
Sir, I think it is a component of the larger hydrogen policy, but
What
I
is
am
that?
not aware of these specifics.
So the green hydrogen policy,
Yes, sir.
you should read that. Okay. You also mentioned about let's have a few more questions on this.
Yes, sir.
So you talked about passenger vehicles, no?
Yes, sir.
So what are the key challenges in terms of achievement of our target for the statement policy statement which the minister made a few years back, that 30% of our passenger vehicles will be electric. So there is no problem in 2 and 3 wheelers. We are surpassing the target.
Yes, sir.
But about 4 wheelers
Yes, sir.
and beyond, we
Yes,
still
sir.
have problems.
Yes, sir.
So what are we doing about that? What are the key challenges and what are we doing about that?
Yes, sir.
Key points.
Yes, sir. So key challenges would be firstly
Key challenges which are,
yes, sir.
they are not futuristic.
Yes, sir. With respect to concerns about range in the minds of the consumers, with respect to existing of a charging network, with respect to the cost of the vehicles, despite certain reductions, the cost of owning an electric vehicle is still higher. And
Let's confine to 3, first top 3. And what is the government or others doing about the industry doing, automotive industry?
yes, sir. So with respect to charging, we are trying, government as well as the industry is putting up a charging network. Government has said that every 25 kilometers there will be a charging station on national highways, and in cities 1 in every 3x3 grid. In the meanwhile, a lot of private players, because they see that as an opportunity, are already installing a lot of EV chargers in place. For example, Tata's, Hero, I think, yes. The second is with respect to awareness, right? Awareness, government is sort of trying to create awareness that no, there's not going to be a big problem.
Okay.
Because still, if you talk to people, people think that, oh, range ka problem.
What
hoga
is the
ye."
policy measure government is doing about charging? One of the very important thing government is doing about
Sir,
charging.
it's common charging standards.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Okay. So coming back also to your sector, no, electricity.
Yes, sir.
Why do we say that
Yes, sir.
electricity is the single biggest source of, and cause of climate change? Why do we say that?
So because two ways, direct as well as indirect. Directly, electricity, most of it is generated by thermal power plants, which involve burning coal, which lead to emissions
oil.
of coal and oil. And second, indirectly, it spurs more consumption, and that consumption then feeds into climate change again.
Okay. So then why are we have a target that we must increase the percentage of electricity in our total energy consumption?
Yes, sir. So that's because electricity, in electricity, we can transition to renewable energy. But the non-electricity part, such as that being used by cement plants or iron and steel plants, that is much less green as compared to electricity, because that involves burning coal directly, right? Fertilizer plants, steel plants, cement plants.
Okay.
And they consume a huge amount of energy.
So what's the kind of a target which we are wanting to achieve globally or in India in terms of electricity consumption? Increasing our electricity consumption.
Sir, I'm not aware of this target.
Okay. Electric transport is one. Another is?
Another is with respect to utilizing hydrogen for fertilizer plants, for example. Then I know that a lot of companies, I think Shell recently made some
One of the very important thing which is very relevant to India, electric
electric.
cooking.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anyway,
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
so my last question to you.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Chairman asked that if we have so much of solar,
Yes, sir.
there's a lot of intermittency
Yes, sir.
in the electrical grid system.
Yes, sir.
We also have this, and you answered beautifully that we are trying to address through battery storage and through pumped hydro.
Yes, sir.
What is the international dimension to it? How we are trying to solve that problem through international cooperation?
Sir, it would be the initiative that India and UK launched, One Sun, One World, One Grid. Essentially, if you can create a transmission network that is not confined to a certain geography, then the sun will be always shining on some place or the other.
What is the
right?
latest about One Sun, One World, One Grid? Also work?
Sir, the last I read was
Very important
certain-
announcement was made at G20 with regard to that. Very important, which has a lot of strategic dimension.
sorry, sir, I missed that announcement.
Okay. And in terms of our grid interconnection with neighboring countries,
So we're trying to make progress on the BIMSTEC grid. That is the most
how
important
that will
initiative.
benefit us and how it will improve the regional security as such.
So there are various facets to how that will benefit us. One is with respect to peak power.
First, what are we doing? Yeah, okay,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
Yes. So what are we doing? So we are trying to. So we have a BIMSTEC initiative, and that has two components. One is with respect to electricity. The other is also with respect to an oil and gas pipeline from Myanmar. Beyond that, specifically what we are doing, I'm not aware of. How that will benefit. Okay.
Good evening, Kush.
Good evening, sir.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how honest are you?
Sir, I'd call myself honest. I'd probably call myself 10.
Okay. Then, being very fair,
Yes,
I was not satisfied with your answer.
Yes, sir.
Ki why? Why bureaucracy?
Yes, sir.
Give me a good answer for that.
Sir.
Why bureaucracy? You have a fairly good profile.
So that is my answer. I did not have, my father was a bureaucrat. He resigned. He was a part of the government for 15 years. He did not want me to become a bureaucrat. I had no idea about this while I was at college. It is only when I was working that I felt a desire. And that is primarily because, say, one of my projects was for a state government of France. One of my projects was for, as I said, Colorado State Police, which is in USA. I was sitting in Bangalore and doing work. And I felt a deep desire that, these problems are much more relevant for India, and I want to be a part of these solutions for these problems in an Indian context.
Okay, Kush. I think fairly we have covered a maximum part of your DAF. Two parts I'll be focusing. One is Gujarat,
Yes,
where you are born. Other is your hobby section.
Yes, sir.
Before that, tell me about the patent.
Yes, sir.
Population modeling system.
Yes, sir.
What is it?
So while I was at Xerox, one of the projects was related to predicting prevalence of diabetes for each and every zip code in the US. For this, we used simulation of the entire population of each and every zip code. And to build the model for this simulation, we used certain data sources. First is census data, other is disease-related surveys of the population. Now, these surveys will have 90 questions, and people will not, most of the time, not answer many questions because they may not know about it, or they may not be interested in answering. For example, say blood sugar level, or say whether a person is smoking or not. Either people will not know, or people may not want to answer. So the patent specifically is with respect to how we fill these missing values so that we can make the best use of this data.
Very interesting. India would be largest population-wise in till 2027.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? India would be today's, in 1 or 2 decades upcoming,
Yes, sir.
India would be today's China or today's US?
India would be?
Today's China
Yes, sir.
or today's US in upcoming 1 or 2 decades?
Yes, sir. Sir, India would be today's USA. Multiple reasons. First is economically, India is a much more consumption-driven society rather than a production or a real estate infrastructure driven society. As we know, China, a lot of the GDP has been because of real estate projects which are now lying waste. Second is with respect to our political systems, we are a democracy. Third is with respect to our social diversity. I think the diversity in India is even more than that of the USA. These are some of the major reasons.
Okay. You are born in Gujarat.
Yes, sir.
In Gujarat, why social indicators are not keeping up the pace with the economical financial indicators?
Sir, this used to be the case few years back, but it has recently started changing. In the recent SDG India report, a lot of healthcare indicators of Gujarat are better than that of Kerala. For example, with respect to institutional deliveries, with respect to women indicators related to women health, these are two examples in which Gujarat is doing better than Kerala in the most recent SDG report as compared to earlier. Having said that, yes, I believe that the complete improvement in social indicators has not taken place. There are various reasons for this. First is less focus on certain social indicators as compared to some of the other states. It's better than most states. The comparison is now with states such as Kerala. Second is with respect to the larger diversity of the state of Gujarat. The percentage of population living in hard to reach areas is still very high in Gujarat, and I think it will take a little more time for the benefits to reach there.
Interesting. Again, one more question from your Navsari, Gujarat area. Why you think a lot of businessmen and businesses are from Gujarat? Just to add on to this question, why British formed their company in Surat?
Yes, sir. Sir, I'll answer the second part of the question first and then relate it to the first part of the question. So, Surat was a medieval town. It was a well-flourishing center of industry, textile, and so on. And even before medieval, ancient town. So therefore, the logistics there was already built. And not only British, but also other Europeans first came to Surat. The second reason is geographical. The port there was navigable, and the British or the Europeans in general knew how to navigate and reach the port of Surat. These are the two main reasons for why Surat. I'd lead this to why present day a lot of businesses are. So the first is historically there's been a culture with respect to economic activity, industry, and so on. The second is with respect to good physical infrastructure, whether it is ports, whether it is proximity to coast is obviously one of the geographical advantages, but apart from that, a lot of good railway and road infrastructure. The third is with respect to the culture of certain communities for which economic activity has been sort of a cultural tradition. And finally, I think one important reason that people don't pay attention to is greater liberty and acceptance among society in general with respect to if someone wants to do business. I think that is much higher in Gujarat than in other states. For example, if in Gujarat, some young woman, if she says that, oh, I don't want to work in a company, I want to start my own business, in whatever sector, the freedom for her is much higher to do that, and the acceptance for her in doing that is significantly higher. I take the example of a woman because it's much harder for women to do business in India as compared to men to do business.
Okay. Kush, my last question. So, can we call Gujarat an ideal state? Or a fairly ideal state, not ideal as such ideal?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I believe we can call it a fairly ideal state.
Okay. Which state can be the second Gujarat of India?
So I think a lot of states can be the second Gujarat. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Haryana, these would be the ones that come to the top of my mind. Also Tamil Nadu, because of an already existing setup of industrial base with respect to focus, with respect to conducive policy environment, and with respect to the government at both the state and the central level actively trying to attract industry. For example, Maharashtra has plug-and-play facility where they provide ready-made warehouses and ready-made factory sheds wherein companies can just put in their machines and start work. I think such initiatives are not
Okay,
common.
Kush.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I will pass on to Chairman, sir.
Kush, good candidate,
Thank you, sir.
right? You should do very well in the interview. When is the interview?
Sir, it's coming Thursday. Yes, sir.
So you don't have much time.
About a week.
Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir. About it.
you don't need to have much time.
Thank you, sir.
There are small things which will tell you to, first of all, rectify your appearance. Shave.
Yes, sir. Sir, I did shave in the morning, but
You shaved in the morning.
yes, sir. But my shaving blade today was not. I think it was old, so
Change
that's why.
your razor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Change your razor. Comb your hair.
Yes, sir.
Apply some cream or something.
Yes, sir.
Put on a tie.
Yes, sir.
Polish your shoes.
Yes, sir.
And all these religious threads.
Yes, sir.
If they can go under your shirt, it is better.
Yes, sir. They'll easily go under. It's just one long thread, so I think it will easily.
It shouldn't be visible.
Yes, sir.
Now, I don't have much to say about the content of your answers because you are articulate, you are able to talk, you are able to express your opinion
Yes, sir.
fearlessly, I would say. But your answers sometimes were long,
Okay.
very long.
Yes, sir.
Answers should be short and to the point,
Yes, sir.
right? No need to keep talking about something for maybe 3-4 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Please don't.
Yes, sir.
Please don't. वो नहीं करना है. And why you kept your hands frozen on your knees? Yeah, like
Yes,
like
sir.
this. You don't have to.
Yes, sir.
Don't catch this. You can keep it like
Okay.
this.
Yeah, this is a valid position. Time you have changed your mind, but not too many.
Yes, sir.
You feel free that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
just sit like this.
You should
Yes,
be
sir.
your natural self in the interview.
Yes, sir.
And keep smiling like you are doing now.
Yes,
The
sir.
happier you are, everyone in the board will be happy,
Yes, sir.
right?
Thank you, sir.
And the better if they are happy.
Yes,
So
sir.
they'll tend to give you more marks for that,
Yes, sir.
right? So coming Thursday, you don't have much time. Just go with a positive frame of mind
Yes, sir.
that you have in you to score very high in interview,
Yes, sir.
very high, probably among the best in the UPSC. So with that
Thank you,
positive
sir.
frame of mind, you go there, you will do well.
Thank you, sir.
How did you get last time?
Sir, I did well last time. I got 201.
201.
Yes, sir.
I expected it.
Thank you, sir.
And that's what my score is.
Thank you, sir.
Well, one small observation.
Yes, sir.
You would probably get another 10 if you do well
Yes, sir.
on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
You are addressing not one person, you are addressing the board.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes.
So you were confined only to one at a time. So we are addressing 60% of the time when a person was putting a question,
Yes, sir.
and 30-40% time with the rest of the board. So that is because we are also evaluating
Yes, sir.
your performance as an officer.
Yes,
You
sir.
have that personality traits.
Okay.
And second thing is that, when you're coming in, you don't have to address everybody 1, 2, 3, 4, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Only one, good afternoon, good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, time you need. Just address. And if there happens to be a lady member, please address, greet the lady member first, and then the chair.
Okay.
That's it, and otherwise you are absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. We go with all of this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anything which you would like to know?
Sir, nothing specifically coming to mind now. If there's something, then I'll try to reach it.
But
Good luck to
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Kush, I would like to say one thing
Yes,
to you, that when we were discussing, if you try to brush up
Yes, sir.
your understanding of the key issues
Yes, sir.
which the government have taken in your sector, basically,
Yes,
in logistics,
right.
in electricity,
Yes, sir.
in all of this, in climate change.
Yes, sir.
So you found that that portion is a little bit,
Okay.
okay,
Yes, sir.
deficient or lacking.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you will do much better. You know all these things,
Yes, sir.
and it's just a matter of reading.
Right. I know that. Yes.
So what has happened at G20? What has happened at COP28? What are the key initiatives which government of India has taken? Just go through that. You will get it in any general book.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes.
Or you open the website of those ministries,
Right.
you will get that instantly.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
How many marks have you given till now?
So I've given about, I think, 3 or this is probably my 4th.
You plan some more?
No, sir.
Please don't. You'll only clutter up your mind.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
All the best.
All the best.
All the best.
All used to be there in the list when
Yes, sir.
I remember the name.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Alright.
Yes, sir.
God bless you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, yeah, but I, office.